As the Shaykh al-Hadith Moulana Zakir Rahmatullah alayhi was commenting on the hadith in which Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said about him that in the house of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Hazrat Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha says, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did not eat roti or khubz made from wheat for 2 days on the trot until he passed away. So in the commentary of this, as the Shaykh Rahmatullah alayhi mentioned, Imam Ghazali Rahmatullah alayhi's 10 benefits of eating less and controlling one's consumption. And after that, at the end, he just got a little bit of a discussion. He says, Hazrat Sahal Tastari Rahmatullah alayhi kisi se kisi ne pucha. Somebody asked a very good Sheikh Sahal Tastari Rahmatullah alayhi कि आपके मुजाहिदों की इब्तिदा किस तरह हुई? How was the beginning of your spiritual exercises, the qurbani, the mujahada that you made? उन्होंने फरमाया, he said कि मेरा सालाना खर्च इब्तिदा में 3 dirham था. He says the expenditure, my annual expenditure was 3 dirhams. इब्तिदा में उसकी सूरत ये थी, at the beginning this was in this way कि मैं 1 dirham का तो दिबस यानी अंगूर या खजूर का शेरा या रस से ले लेता था. Is at the beginning with 1 dirham he used to buy a juice or some sort of molasses made from angur, grapes, or from khajur, any dates. Or 1 dirham ka chawal ka aata. And with 1 dirham he used to buy flour made from rice. Or 1 dirham ka ghee. And for 1 dirham he used to buy ghee, any butter or unclarified butter. उन तीनों को मिलाकर 360 लड्डू बना लेता था. And by mixing all of this together, he used to make dumplings, 360 dumplings. एक रोज़ाना रोज़ा इफ्तार करने के वक्त खा लेता था. एक रोज़ाना रोज़ा इफ्तार करने के वक्त खा लेता. And one of the dumplings he'd eat for his iftar every day. किसी ने पूछा कि अब क्या मामूल है? Somebody asked him, what do you do now? फरमाया अब तो कोई मुतय्यन चीज़ नहीं. He says, at the moment I don't have anything fixed to eat. जो मौका हो कुछ खा लेता हूँ. Whenever the opportunity comes, I eat. ये करीब ही गुजर चुका कि ये हज़रत 20-20 दिन बिगर खाए गुजार देते थे. It's passed just recently inside the kitab that Hazrat Sahal Tastari Rahmatullah alayhi you spend 20 days without eating. Hazrat Abu Zar Ghafari Rahmatullah radiyallahu ta'ala फरमाते हैं, Hazrat Abu Zar Ghafari radiyallahu ta'ala says कि मेरा गुजरान हुजूर सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम के ज़माने में एक साह जो तकरीबन 3.5 सेर फी हफ्ता था, खुदा की कसम मैं उससे ज़्यादा मरने तक कभी भी न बढ़ाऊँगा. He says that from the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used to eat in a week 1 sah of jow, yani of barley. खुदा की कसम, I swear by Allah Almighty, मैं उससे ज़्यादा मरने तक कभी भी न बढ़ाऊँगा. Until the time I pass away, I shall not increase upon this. And this very meager amount he used to spend, he used to consume in a week. इसलिए कि मैंने हुज़ूर सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम से सुना था. Why? Because I heard the Prophet सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम say कि तुम में से मुझे ज़्यादा महबूब क़यामत में मुझसे ज़्यादा करीब वो शख्स होगा. That amongst all of you, the person who's most beloved to me and the person who's going to be closest to me on the day of judgment, वो शख्स होगा, will be that person जो मरने तक इसी हाल पर रहे जिस पर अब है. That shall remain at the time of death in the situation that they're in at this moment in time. इसी वजह से ये बाज़ हज़रात, it's because of this, as the Sheikh says, that some of these companions रिज़वानुल्लाहि अलैहिम अजमईन पर एतराज़ किया करते थे कि तुमने वो तर्ज छोड़ दिया जो हज़रत सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम के ज़माने में था. इसी वजह से ये बाज़ हज़रात सहाबा किराम रज़ियल्लाहु अन्हुम पर एतराज़ करते थे. It's because of this some of the companions used to say to some of the other companions that you have left that way upon which you were in the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. तुमने जो तुमने ज़माने में था, तुमने जो का आटा चानना शुरू कर दिया. You've begun to remove the chaff from the flour, the wheat flour. You know, they used to grind the flour in a chakki, and then it's not fine flour, and there's still chaff on top of it. You've begun to remove it from the flour. हालांकि उस ज़माने में नहीं चाना जाता था. Even though in the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you never used to remove the chaff from the flour that's been ground in the mill. तुमने पतली रोटियां खानी शुरू कर दी. You've begun eating very thin chapatis. कई सालन दस्तरखान पर आने लगे. There's so many different dishes and curries that are on the dastakhan, on the table. तो हुज़ूर सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम के ज़माने में ऐसे नहीं थे. इन द टाइम ऑफ प्रॉफेट सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम you went like this. हज़रत हसन बसरी रहमतुल्लाह अलैह फरमाते हैं, द टाइम हज़रत बसरी रज़ियल्लाहु रहमतुल्लाह अलैह says कि भाई मुसलमान की मिसाल बकरी के बच्चे की सी है. He says that the example of the Muslims is like the child, like the kid, यानी the child of a goat, जिसे एक मुट्ठी पुरानी खजूर, एक मुट्ठी सत्तू, एक गोंद पानी काफ़ी है. For who? खजूर की एक मुट्ठी यानी a handful of खजूर of old खजूर्स, एक मुट्ठी सत्तू, a handful of oats, एक गोंद पानी काफ़ी है, and a sip of water is enough. और मुनाफिक की मिसाल दरिंदा किसी है. But the example of the munafiq is like the wild animal. Yeah, the wild animal. Hab hab gad gad जो हो सब खा पी ले. That hab hab gad gad, he eats everything. ना अपने पड़ोसी का ख्याल करे. He doesn't care about his neighbors. ना दूसरे को अपने ऊपर तरजीह दे. He doesn't give preference to others over himself. ज़रूरत से ज़ायद चीज़ें जमा करके आगे बेच दो. Then he says that whatever is in excess to your need, send it for the hereafter. आगे भेज दो. हज़रत अबू बकर सिद्दीक़ रज़ियल्लाहु ताला अन्हु 6 यौम का मुसलसल फाका कर लेते थे. हज़रत अबू बकर सिद्दीक़ रज़ियल्लाहु ताला अन्हु regarding him says that for 6 days he never used to eat. और हज़रत अब्दुल्लाह बिन ज़ुबैर रज़ियल्लाहु ताला अन्हु 7 दिन का फाका कर लेते. And similar अब्दुल्लाह बिन ज़ुबैर रज़ियल्लाहु ताला अन्हु used to have फाका for 7 days. कहते हैं एक बुजुर्ग की एक राहिब से मुलाकात हुई. It said that one pious person met a rahib, यानी a priest or a monk. इससे बातें करते रहे. They talked to each other. इसी में उसको इस्लाम की दावत भी दे दी. And within that the बुजुर्ग asked the monk to accept Islam. उसने गुफ्तगू के दौरान में कहा, and during the course of the conversation he said कि हज़रत मसीह अला नबीना अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम 40 दिन का फाका कर लेते थे. He said that for 40 days हज़रत मसीह अलैहिस्सलाम यानी हज़रत ईसा अलैहिस्सलाम would remain without food. ये बात मौजिज़ा ही के तौर पर हो सकती है. This can only be a miracle. नबी के अलावा किसी से नहीं हो सकती. Only a prophet can do this. उन बुजुर्ग ने फरमाया कि अगर मैं 50 दिन का फाका कर दूं, if I was to remain hungry for 50 days, तब तो तुम मुसलमान हो जाओगे. Will you become a Muslim in that situation if I was to able to do that? उस राहिब ने कहा, the monk said, ज़रूर, definite. ये वही इसके पास ही ठहर गई. And he remained with him for the duration of those days. इसी के पास रहते, he stay with him. जब 50 दिन पूरे हो गए, when 50 days had passed, तो कहने लगे, he began to say कि ये तो वादा के थे. These were the 50 days that I had promised you and I've completed them. 10 दिन और जायद लो, and look, let me do another 10 extra days. ये कहकर 10 दिन का वाफाका और भी कर दिया. And likewise he did another 10 days remaining hungry. पूरे 7 दिन बाद खाया. And after 60 days he ate. वो राहिब बड़ी ही हैरत में रह गया, मुसलमान हो गया. The monk became very surprised and he accepted Islam. एक हदीस में आया है, इस मेंशन inside the hadith कि हुज़ूर सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम जब सुबह को खाना तनावुल फरमा लेते थे, that when the Prophet सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम used to eat his food in the morning and breakfast, तो शाम को तनावुल न फरमाते, then he would not eat in the evening, he would not eat supper. और जब शाम को तनावुल फरमा लेते, when he used to eat supper, तो सुबह को तनावुल न फरमाते थे, then he would not eat breakfast. यानी कभी ऐसा भी मामूल था. और यानी in other words, this was also his habit. और भी पहले बुजुर्गों से एक वक्त खाने का मामूल नकल किया गया है. And many other pious people is mentioned about them that they don't eat once in a day. इमाम राजी रहमतुल्लाह अलैह फरमाते हैं, he said regarding इमाम राजी रहमतुल्लाह अलैह कि जो शख्स एक वक्त खाने का आदी हो, the person who is habituated to eat only once in a day, इसके लिए बेहतर ये है, for him is better कि सहरी के वक्त खाए, that he eats at the time of suhoor, ताकि दिन में रोज़ा की फजीलत हासिल हो, so that he can have the virtue of making a fast during the day. और रात को नवाफिल और जिक्र वगैरह मैदा खाली होने की हालत में हो. And in the night, because his stomach is, he performs his nawafil, he performs his zikr and his ibadat, and at that time his stomach is empty. हज़रत मालिक बिन दीनार रहमतुल्लाह अलैह का 40 साल तक दूध को दिल चाहता रहा. For 40 years, मालिक बिन दीनार रहमतुल्लाह अलैह, he yearned to drink milk, मगर इस्तेमाल नहीं किया, but he didn't drink milk for 40 years. एक मरतबा कहीं से उनकी खिदमत में तोरा ताज़ा खजूरें आई. In some place some fresh rutub came to him, fresh dates came to him. अपने दोस्तों से फरमाया, he said to his friends कि इनको खा लो, eat this. मैंने तो उनको 40 साल से नहीं चखा. For 40 years I haven't tasted rutub. इमाम गज़ाली रहमतुल्लाह ने बहुत कसरत से इस किस्म के वाक़यात इन हज़ार के ज़िक्र फरमाए। इमाम गज़ाली रहमतुल्लाह अलैह इन Ihya Ulumuddin has mentioned these stories in abundance। उन्हीं मुजाहिदों की बरक़ात से इन हज़रात से करामतों का ज़ुहूर होता था। It's because of these sacrifices and spiritual exercises that they used to do, the blessings of them, these people will be able to carry out very many miracles. अब इन हज़ार की इसी करामतों का तो हर शख्स ख्वाहिशमंद है। But now, today, as the Sheikh says, that many people want to be able to do miracles in the way that these people also carried out miracles. But इसके लिए इन जैसे मुजाहिदा भी तो किए जाए। And he says that for this, the sacrifice that was made in those days also needs to happen. हम लोगों को गिज़ाए तो उम्दा से उम्दा बेहतर से बेहतर चाहे। Our situation is that the food that we eat, we want it to be the best. फिर मुजाहिदा कैसे हो? But how can we do मुजाहिदा and sacrifice and कुर्बानी? एक बुजुर्ग ने अपने किसी मिलने वाले की दावत की। Inshallah we'll carry on later. Our Hazrat Rahmatullah alayhi used to often say, Al-ahwal thamaratul I forgot what he said. He used to say in Arabic ke hal in spiritual states, that the qurbani that you do inside your tasawwuf, the qurbani that you do in your deen, then it creates the hal. Al-ahwal thamaratul a'mal. That's what he used to say. Al-ahwal thamaratul a'mal. That sometimes people say कि अभी के बुजुर्गों की हाल वो नहीं है जो पुराने बुजुर्गों की हाल थी। Hazrat Rahmatullah used to say that कि लोग people say this, लेकिन हकीकत ये है, Hazrat used to say that the condition of people today, people say that the spiritual condition of the pious people and the buzuks isn't the condition as it used to be in the olden days. You know, you pick up the kitabs of the mashayikh and you see Moinuddin Chishti Rahmatullah alayhi flying through the air, or some other mashayikh walking on water, etc. And you don't see that nowadays. So at the end of the day, you know, those are kashf karamat. The biggest karamat is istiqamat. Istiqamat on shariat and ittibai sunnat is the biggest karamat. Our mashayikh also say this. But he also says that the ahwal, the spiritual states, al-ahwal thamaratul a'mal. Hazrat Rahmatullah used to say, al-ahwal, the spiritual states, progression, climbing up, having proximity to Allah Almighty and everything else, thamaratul ahwal, thamaratul a'mal is the outcome and the fruit of a'mal. Without a'mal, then we're not going to get that far. So if a'mal has to come there. And as the Shaykh Rahmatullah alayhi used to say, कि मामूलात की पाबंदी तरक्की का ज़ेना है. Zena means the rungs in a ladder or a staircase or the steps in a ladder. He says that मामूलात की पाबंदी, that by following the mamulat diligently, then you're able to progress further. So in the same way, you know, some of the mujahada has to be done to discipline the nafs. Once the nafs becomes disciplined, then slowly the ahwal also start developing. May Allah Almighty give us the tawfiq. Inshallah we'll carry on next week. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallah wa bihamdik, ashhadu wa la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Al-ahwal thamaratul a'mal. Inshallah be zikr for a few minutes, not very long, and then we'll conclude inshallah. Jazakallah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. لا إله إلا الله 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 محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا إله إلا الله 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 محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا إله إلا الله 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 سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا وسندنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم إلا الله 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 إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم الله 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 لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. إن شاء الله next week. جزاك الله خير.